Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. It's Sean from Seankbeauty. Just got off from work, wanted to answer some questions. Sorry for putting up this video very late in the game. This is the Truth Skincare series. We are in part 5. You leave your questions down below and I feature them here on my channel. My background is microbiology and biochemistry, and I bring science to beauty, and I'm also a luxury YouTuber, so check me out on Saturday for sit down Saturdays where we do everything luxury makeup. So this question is coming from World Peace. It is about rose water versus rose oil. Why is one good for the face and the other one isn't? And this was under a video that I did some time back on the benefits of rose water. So thank you, World Peace. I do check my videos, so even if you leave like a lot of questions underneath all of my other videos, I'm still very active with responding to your comments. So let's talk about rose water first, how it's made, how it's used, its benefits, and then I'll jump on over into the world of rose oil. And there is also something called rose hip oil, World Peace, that I wanted to share with you too, because sometimes we can just think it's just rose oil versus rose water, but there is rose water, rose oil, and rose hip oil. Rose oil is called rose essential oil, and they are very different. So without further ado, let's get started. Hopefully you all will like, subscribe, and share. So when we're talking about rose water, this is made from distilling the rose petals, and that fragrant aroma that you get from distilling the rose petals with steam is what we get, or what we call rose water. It is the actual liquid form of this process, or this distillation process. Now, the reason why I would not suggest you all going out in your yard and pulling roses out of your yard and making your own rose water, I know there's a ton of DIYs on here, is because there are pesticides, there are external environmental factors that actually contaminates your rose petals. And unless you have some sort of purifying equipment before you start, distilling your rose petals with steam to get your rose water, I would highly advise you not to go forward with doing any rose water DIYs at home. Okay, now that's just me. You can do what you want, but remember, if you're subjecting your skin to pesticides and external factors out there, not only is the skin going to be damaged, you're also wreaking havoc on the livers and the kidneys, because you do absorb these chemicals, okay? So that's the first disclaimer that I want to put out there. So now let's look into the benefits of rose water. And there's a slew of benefits, not only for the face, but also internally, etc. But for the sake of this video, and because this is a skincare pretty much and makeup channel, we're just going to talk about it topically being used on the face. One of the benefits is that rose water is an anti-inflammatory. It is really great for combating redness or any sort of puffiness on the skin. If you have rosacea and eczema, this is going to be your jam. Rose water also is great for bringing in pH balance. If you don't want to use aloe vera, a lot of women will go ahead and they will, jump on the rose water bandwagon as a really great toner. It is a great antibacterial agent, so it helps to minimize your acne. So just misting this on is going to, bring down any acne that you have. And it's a great antioxidant, so great for scavenging those free radicals and bringing about that balance that you need, so those free radicals does not wreak havoc on the face. This is also an inhibitory agent, really great for preventing lipid peroxidation, and we don't want the lipids in our skin to be degraded. We need the lipids to have a healthy skin's barrier, and also to keep our skin nice and moist and plump. So now let's jump over into the world of rose oil. And I'm going to couple this with rose hip oil so that you can see the differences here, but also talk about the benefits of your rose essential oil. Okay, so when we're talking about rose oil, that is distilled from the petal of the actual Rosa Damascena. And this is what is called like rose essential oil. And when we talk about rose hip oil, that is actually extracted from the fruit, I think Rosa moschata and there's another one. So there is a major difference between your rose essential oil and your rose hip oil, because not only are the roses different, the way they are, the parts of the plant that they are extracted from is also different as well. Friends, another key difference between your rose hip oil and your rose oil is the fact that rose oil smells really sweet, whereas your rose hip oil smells very earthy. It has that kind of scent to it. Rose oil is used to really help get rid of anxiety, and it's a great antidepressant on top of everything else that I mentioned to you, like bringing hydration to the skin. It's a great antioxidant, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory agent. Okay, so it has those additional properties as well. However, because rose oil is very potent, you definitely want to dilute this with some sort of carrier oil. Okay, you don't want to go directly onto the skin, because going directly onto the skin, it could sting, it could burn. So you definitely want to dilute your rose oil down. Now remember, I just mentioned about rose hip oil being extracted from the fruit of the plant Rosa canina. Well, if you were to cold press that oil, it has two really great properties in there: tocopherol as well as carotenoids. These are awesome agents for bringing about an anti-aging effect. It also has linoleic acid, which is really great for helping you to have a healthy skin's barrier and bringing balance to the skin. And I know I talk a lot about the skin's barrier because really and seriously, having a balanced skin's barrier is really going to help you to have clear skin. And then you can start targeting like hyperpigmentation and all of that stuff. But balance is first. That is going to be key. So I want to show you all a few different rose water products, or rose oil, rose water products that I actually have in my possession. So this can tell you that I'm a huge lover of rose water and rose oil. Now, one I used some time ago is from Ayurveda, that company. So I will leave a link to all of them down below for your convenience. But I'm out of that. And another rose water that I was using, other than the Ayurveda, is the one from Mario Badescu. I used to use that a lot, and I mentioned that in previous videos. It's great as a setting spray as well because it brings in hydration. And if you're oily skin, it really does help to control your skin from being oily, just FYI. But what I have in my possession, and I'm going to show you that this isn't empty. This is the Rosedame from Chantecaille. This is pure rose water. And the backbone of Chantecaille's brand is pretty much using Rosedame. Now, this one is a replacement. And as you can see, I'm almost done with this one. So I use this a lot because I really love it for my nighttime skincare routine. And I also love it to set my makeup, you know, after I put my makeup on. This is the Rosedame face oil from Chantecaille as well. This has rosehip oil in it. And like I mentioned, rosehip oil is really great because it actually has the tocopherol in it. It has linoleic acid. It also has that carotenoids that really does help the skin. And again, this brings in hydration. This is much, much lighter than your rosehip oil. Rosehip oil by itself is very heavy. This one is not as heavy. Okay, so I'll just drop. So as you can see, this one is not as heavy as your rosehip oil. This actually is mixed with other roses as well. Oh my goodness, friends, it smells absolutely lovely. They've done their due diligence to dilute this down so that it is not of extreme potency going onto the skin. Another really great one from Chantecaille is their Rosedame Body Oil. Again, this one has been diluted quite a bit. As you can see, the color in the face oil versus that of the body is a lot more lighter, but this does have Rosedame in it. So let's just try to use this one. And this is the body oil. And as you can see, this one is it's less viscous than your face oil. The face oil is great if you want to use that at night. What I also wanted to mention about the Chantecaille Rosedame face oil is not only is it excellent to use whenever you want to use it, I use this at night and you only need a drop of this. You don't need a lot of this. But I will also say too, what's great about it is the fact that it's non-comedogenic. It's not going to clog your pores, for anybody who is asking. So world peace, hopefully this gives you a lot more context and clarity on your rose oil and your rosehip oil and your rose water, but also understanding that you can use rose oil on the face because it just needs to be diluted down. If it goes directly onto the skin in its pure form, you will have the stinging, the burning, and it can be harmful to the skin. But, you know, education and information really does help you to have wisdom moving forward. So to debunk the myth that you can't use rose oil on the face, only rose water, is what I'm bringing to you here in this video. You can use rose oil on the face once you have diluted it down. And Chantecaille has a really great rose oil, and this is actually saying Rosedame face oil, so you can use this on the face. If you're interested in the body oil, the Rosedame Body Oil, this has some other really great oils in it too. Tamanu oil, moringa oil. There's a lot of really great properties in here. Of course, the Rosedame is enriched with vitamin C and E, great for regenerating the skin. It's going to leave the skin feeling smooth and just really moisturized. And again, like I'm showing you all, like I use, this is the empty. To do this video was a pleasure to do this because, you know, it's great that I can give information, but also show you that I do use these products that I'm talking about, or I do use the ingredients that I'm talking about in my videos. So the discussion continues. I look forward to speaking with you all down in the comment section below.